What's up, Facebook? Well, you knew you were going to hear something from me tonight. You knew it because the shit hit the fan. It hit the fan. And I've already seen some of the friends on my Facebook and some of the lib sites and this, that, and the other. Well, we're a laughing stock and we're not protecting our friends and we're not all kinds of crazy ass crap because we're not just bending over backwards for Ukraine. Oh, yeah. I heard one Democrat say today that Donald Trump was Putin's lapdog. No. Donald Trump is their American people's attack dog. That's what it is. That's what it is. He's our guard dog. He's trying to guard your money. He's trying to guard your life. Your lifestyle. $300 billion we've already gave Ukraine. That's $300 billion that could have went to help starving people in America or the VA or any of those things. And then and this is the thing I don't understand. Donald Trump is not a politician. He is a businessman. He wrote The Art of the Deal, not The Art of War. He is not Joe Biden. He's not going to just send millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a war that's actually between us and the U.S. I mean, us and Russia. That's what y'all don't understand. America does not fight its own wars. America pays somebody else to fight its wars. That's the way it's been since World War II. Well, since Vietnam War, actually, in Korea. We fought them wars. We fought in Iraq. The only reason we fought in Iraq and over there is because of the fact of 9/11. But we have not fought a war against let me say this. We have not fought a war against anybody worth fighting. Saddam Hussein's men just turned and ran. That wasn't a war. It was over in a week. This is not. There's no way in anywhere in this scenario that Ukraine wins this war. I don't care if you gave them every military bomb and everything you could give them short of a nuclear bomb. First of all, they don't have enough soldiers. Russia has more men and women willing to fight or gonna fight than Ukraine. The numbers are not even close. Ukraine will finally run out of soldiers. This is another thing that people don't understand. Ukraine is not filled with people that are 100% for Ukraine. There is an old guard all over that area over there. And when I say the old guard, I'm talking about the folks that grew up in the Soviet Union. And they're really loyal to Russia, to the Soviet Union. They want the Soviet Union back. It's not just Putin. Half of the people in Ukraine want that. That's why he's having so much trouble finding people to fight. A lot of the people that lived on the border east of Ukraine want to be part of Russia. They don't want a Ukraine nation. Now, yeah, there are people in Ukraine that want to be free from Russia. And that's the problem. They're split just like we are here, Republican and Democrat. They're split over there, Ukraine, and want to be part of Russia. This is a war between the U.S. and Russia. Except we're not fighting it. Our people aren't fighting it. Our money's fighting it. We're fighting Russia without having to fight Russia. Because let me tell you something. If we ever go to war with Russia, it's not going to be pretty. And there's not going to be people that come out on top. And Donald Trump knows that. Donald Trump knows that Putin is a crazy son of a bitch. And he knows that he would push a nuclear button on us in a heartbeat. He knows this. There's not a scenario where the United States and Russia go to war and we win. Because when it comes down to the brass tacks of it, if Russia thought that they were losing, they would send the bombs over. And we would send our bombs over. And nobody would win. And Donald Trump knows that. Now, Ukraine wants to be part of NATO. That's never going to happen. Not as long as Putin is alive. No country that borders Russia is going to be part of NATO. He's not going to have it. Because he don't want that country to sit there and have nukes that could just be pointing right there at him and be there in minutes. He don't want that. He wants a cushion. He wants an ocean between him and Europe. Just like we have an ocean, as they're talking about, between us and Europe and Russia. They're never going to be part of NATO. Not as long as Putin's alive. What you don't understand is Donald Trump is... People don't get Donald. Donald is a businessman. He's not a politician. He's talking about rare earth. He's talking about things that can be mined out of the earth that'll pay us back for this war. First thing. But the second thing is, if we go in there and we have control, if we write a deal out with Ukraine for those rare earth minerals in East Ukraine, in the occupied territory that Russia has right now, we can go in there and say, well, we made a deal with Ukraine, and you're sitting on the property that we're fixing to get these rare earth out of, and you need to back off. You need to back up. It's an excuse. It's a foot in the door. Once we get the foot in the door and get the deal, then we can say, hey, this is ours. This is America's interest, and we're going to protect it. And then we'll have an excuse to look at Putin and go, okay, man, you're stepping on our toes now. And he won't do it. Right now, he thinks he can just run all over Ukraine. The deal gets us in the door. You don't understand when Donald Trump says he's aligned with Europe and he's aligned with the world. Yeah, he's aligned with them. But not over USA's interest. Where Joe Biden and the rest of them, they don't care about USA's interest. They don't care about your tax dollars. They don't care about taking money out of your pocket and giving it to somebody else to fund a war that has nothing to do with us. They don't care about that. Don does. Don's like, no, this is our money. This is our weapons. This is our stuff. We're not going to give it up without something in return. You're not going to get something for nothing, especially when you're sitting on a gold mine. Why do we do this? Why do we help all these countries over there and give them billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars when they have oil under the ground that they could sell? They have raw earth materials that they could sell. Why are we having to give Ukraine billions and billions and billions of dollars if they have things in the ground that they could sell? If they have all these minerals in the ground that they could sell to get the money? Why? Why has it got to be our money? Why do we have to fit all the bill? It's ridiculous. There's no scenario where Ukraine wins. None. And Donald knows that. Now, this guy's all up in his emotions. And that's what Donald's trying to tell him. To be diplomatic, you got to get off your emotions. You got to understand that you got to get off that hate that you have to make a deal. Now, I get that Zelensky says, well, we made a deal, and Russia reneged on the deal. They reneged on the deal with Ukraine. If we have our foot in the door in Ukraine and Ukraine becomes an American interest, do you think Russia's going to step on us? Do you think that he's going to cross the line when he knows that it's an American interest? No. No, he's not going to do it. So before you just scream and holler that we're not supporting our friends and this, that, and the other, thousands of people are dying every day for nothing, for a cause that will never, ever win. Period. And they're like, well, if he gets Ukraine, then he's going to go after Poland, and then he's going to go after this, and then he's going to go after that. Yeah, he probably will. But it is not our job to be the big brother to the whole entire world. It's not our job to be the police for the whole entire world. And let me tell you something. When Donald Trump says this is the beginning of World War III, he's not kidding, because Russia already has North Korean soldiers fighting for him. Okay, let's say we back Ukraine and Russia not doing so hot. They've already done it. They're bringing in North Koreans to fight for them. Okay, what happens when he brings China in to fight for him? Then we have to fight China? Then you have Russia and China both that have nuclear bombs, and we have to fight both of them? You got to look at the big picture here. You got to look at the point that this is actually almost World War III. It could very well be. And Donald Trump is trying to get a deal made. He's trying to get the hostilities. He's trying to get the fire smoldered down some. Right now, it's a tinderbox. It's just burning and burning and burning. And he's saying, hey, man, we got to sit down. And what I don't understand is these Democrats are always for diplomacy. Why all of a sudden are they warmongers? Why all of a sudden is it that we should kick Russia's butt? Well, let me tell you something. If you want to go to war so bad, Democrats, you get all your Democrat senators and you get all your Democrat House of Representatives and you get them together and you try to declare war on Russia. You can do it. Stand up in the House, stand up in there and say, we need to go to war with Russia. You going to send your kids to fight Russia over Ukraine? Your kid's going to die for Ukraine? No, you liberals don't want to. No. You Democrats and liberals, y'all don't want your kids in the military. You hate the military. You don't think there's no point in it. Oh, but you want us to kick Russia's ass over Ukraine. It's not going to happen. Goodness gracious. Change the subject. Joey Flyers posted something earlier. Speaking of Democrats, all the Democrats are screaming and hollering and this, that, and the other because government employees are being fired and let go. Folks, these are not employees that you really need. These are DEI people that push the liberal agenda. That's what these people are. And for somebody to sit there and say, well, we shouldn't send out an email to tell the 5 things that we done last week. Why not? What did you do last week? Did you help somebody? My little person that I told you about that works in the government that I knew for a fact that all the liberal or he, she, all that had been cut out and all that person, they had to send in their email. And the way you found out that if you were fired or not, you come into work the next day, and if you couldn't get into your email, that meant you fired. Now, this person, like I said, helps people that come back from war. Very important. In the mental aspect, helps people with mental problems from coming back from war. Have they lost their job? Hell no. Because you need people like that. We're getting rid of stuff that we don't need. We're getting rid of big. Y'all don't understand how big the government has become. It's ridiculous how big government has become. And we're spending money hand over fist for things that don't amount to a hill of beans. I seen one the other day. There's a pond in Arkansas, and they spent $5 million to find out why these frogs in this pond only have 3 toes on their right side. 3 toes, 2 toes, I don't remember. Well, I'm sure it's because every frog that's in that pond came from Papa Frog, and Papa Frog didn't have but 2 toes. Look at me. I got a sleepy eye. Anybody ever notice this eye over here is really, really closed? My granddaddy had that. My great-granddaddy had that. My brothers have it. I don't have to spend $5 million to figure out how I've got a lazy eye. That's stupid. But we're wasting money doing that. So funny. But this thing that Joey posted, You Democrats are all bent out of shape. And poor people. You Democrats wasn't upset when they were firing people because they wouldn't get the jab. You wasn't saying poor, pitiful you when they said we're not putting that chemical crap in our bodies, and you got fired for it. You wasn't crying when they throwed half the military out because the soldiers didn't want to take the jab. You wasn't crying then. Wasn't crying about it. Ooh. I don't understand you folks. I don't understand how you can't look at the big picture. I don't understand how you can't make your children and your grandchildren and their future more important than this crap that's going on across the world. And let me tell you something. This is the bottom line. This is it right here. The Bible says there will be no peace in the Holy Land. And when the peace comes in the Holy Land, you best be looking up because Jesus Christ is coming. Don't think that there's ever going to be peace. It's not happening. There's no scenario in this world where human beings don't try to kill each other. Not in the near future. Not anytime in the next probably 5 to 6 generations. So why do we have to fund war? If you're for peace, why are we funding war? It's ridiculous. Why are you at war with your own people? Oh, poor me, poor pitiful this person over here, that person over there. What about the American people? And I get it. Yeah, it's sad, okay? Yeah, it's not a good thing that we're letting people go in the government. Joe Biden didn't give a shit when he got rid of the damn Keystone Pipeline and 14,000 men lost their damn jobs. I just don't get it. Don't get it. And now we're screaming and hollering, well, we're not supporting Europe. We're not supporting Europe. Folks, Europe has become, it's not free anymore over there. You can't do what I'm doing. If you do what I'm doing right now, you go to jail. They don't allow free speech over there anymore. They're under the rule. The UK right now is pretty much 10 times more than what we dealt with for the past 4 years of Joe Biden. The government interfering in the media, the government going in and telling people to take this down, the government going in and going after people that's against them, that can't speak up against the government or the king or whoever. They go after them. And when J.D. Vance stands up there and says, look, we America doesn't like the way where y'all are going right now. We don't know if we want to be friends with you anymore or not. I don't blame him. It's crazy. I don't get it. If you watch the video, I'm going to post it down here in the bottom. I'm going to post the video of Zelensky and J.D. Vance and Trump. I'll post it in the comments so you can watch it. But let me tell you, Democrats, you're being laughed at right now. You're being laughed at really bad. CNN's being laughed at. I mean, they're asking stupid questions. They're asking the president stupid questions, just silly, stupid questions. Do you not want to support Zelensky? That's what one of them said. Are we not supporting Zelensky? Donald Trump says, I'm sitting here right beside him. What do you mean I'm not supporting him? I'm right here. I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to help him save his damn country. What a stupid question to ask. Crazy. I just don't understand. Well, off that subject. I'm done on that. Let's talk about something local. About 14, 16 years ago, something like that, I helped Tabby Essery. God rest her soul. That was the most beautiful woman I've ever met in my life. As far as anybody in this world that could be beautiful on the inside and outside and just love and care for people and love and care for dogs, I never met anybody that would get out in 20-degree weather and water and feed dogs. I helped her a bunch of times, helped her out, starting caring for critters. And my grandfather, back years ago, let them put the kennels down on the highway, south of Greenfield, down there where the flag used to be. I put that pole up. It's owned by somebody else now. There's a reason there ain't a flag on it. But anyway, she started caring for critters, and we helped her. Let her have the property down there to put the dogs on until the city, back then, started screaming and hollering about it and threatened to sue us for $500 a day for the dogs being down there. Well, I made a big stink about it, and I found a pro bono dog advocate lawyer out of Chattanooga to send Greenfield City a nice little letter, and the next thing you know, the city wanted to help us get some property to move the dogs off the highway. Well, what happened was the city gave Caring for Critters a piece of property outside of town over there for out by the old garbage dump. And that's where Caring for Critters is to this day. Now, the reason I'm even bringing up this today, I got a friend of mine whose dog was out in their yard yesterday with their daughter. And she had her dog, the leash, tied around her hip to keep hold of her dog. When one of the neighbor's dogs, a pit bull, and I'm not down in pit bulls, I've got one. My little Luna, she's a pit bull. Well, she's part pit. But anyway, I'm not bashing pit bulls because I've had some good pit bulls. Good dogs. I really think I really do believe it's the way you train your dog. So anyway, this dog was not on a leash, came across into their yard and attacked my friend's dog, and they couldn't get it off. Well, the problem I've got is this is where I'm going with this. Weakley County's got a problem. We have a dog and cat problem. And The reason you haven't seen it very much is because of things like Caring for Critters or Redfern, the ladies of Redfern. Those are we've been really lucky for the past decade, probably almost 20 years, that we have these 2 no-kill shelters that are run by women to take all the stray dogs off the streets. Well, we've lost Tabby. And Caring for Critters is powering down. Let me just put it that way. There's not enough people and money and volunteers and everything to keep it up. There's not anybody out there that has the drive that Tabby had to do that. Thousands. When I tell you thousands, I've got the paperwork. Thousands of dogs that Tabby Essery found homes for. Thousands. Sent them up north. See, up north, a lot of places up north, they don't have a problem with strays. Because everybody up north, if you have a dog, you have to have a license for it. You have to have a permit to have that dog. And they don't have a lot of strays. They don't have dogs that just go out and mate and just puppies everywhere. They don't have that. Matter of fact, to get a dog, you have to buy it in some places up north. So Tabby got with some folks, and Redfern does the same thing. These are volunteers that come in and take these dogs, and they would carry them up north, and they'd have them adopted. Well, the reason I'm saying all this, we've got to get some kind of legislation in this county when it comes to dogs and cats. We can't just have a dog just loose and be able to run in another yard and attack a dog and maybe even a human. This could have been really, really bad. This pit just jumped on the dog, but the dog was leashed to its human. This could have been really, really bad. We've got to get something done in Weakley County. Greenfield has a cat problem. Always had a cat problem. There's so many cats in Greenfield, they're everywhere. Just feral cats everywhere. Nothing you can do about it. Or nobody will do anything about it. Let's put it that way. Well, I went to the sheriff. Well, before the sheriff got voted in, he come to the house, and I spoke to him about it. There's something that needs to be done in this county. We need a humane society. This county, Weakley County, has nothing that deals with animals. Nothing. The cities have their pounds. Greenfield's got a city pound. Gleason's got a city pound. The city's got their pounds. And they put them in there, and if nobody claims them, they put them down. But we don't have anything in the county. And I'm sorry, if you let your dog run in the county, there's a leash law. Now, I don't know if my friend was in the city or in the county. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really know. But we've lost Tabby. And it ain't going to be too much longer before Redfern, the ladies of Redfern are going to be gone. And then you're not going to have nothing in Weakley County to deal with the dogs and the cats. And then what are you going to do? Then what's going to happen? We're talking about thousands and thousands of dogs that just these two no-kill shelters have done over the past decade. When these two shelters are gone, what are we going to do? Where are these pets going to go? So, I even mentioned it to the county mayor. Well, that's a safety concern. We need to bring it up before the somebody in the county safety board or whatever. I didn't get no phone call back. I haven't. When the sheriff got elected, he was like, yeah, we'll talk about it. I haven't got no phone call from him. They're ignoring the problem, is what they're doing. Weakley County's ignoring a problem that, well, they're not ignoring it. They're not having to deal with it because these two shelters that's been in Weakley County has been dealing with the problem. And we're talking about people, we're talking about ladies, and Tabby would spend her whole check on dog food. I've seen 150, 160 dogs that caring for critters. And let me tell you something. The whole entire time that Tabby Essery was running that place, there wasn't but about 3 or 4 dogs that was even put down at over 2 decades. And the only reason they were put down is because they were eat up with heartworms so bad they were just suffering. So I'm telling you, locally, we need to get something done. I've made it known. Nobody listens to me. So maybe they'll listen to everybody. Just put your 2 cents worth down in the comments. Y'all don't comment enough. I get, oh yeah, right on point, this, that, and the other. I don't get your opinions. I don't get what you think. So be more interactive. Or I just feel like I'm talking to the wall. And I'm just going to talk to the wall, I'll quit. I won't quit. I enjoy this too much. All right, this is Hammerhead. This has been a long one. I'll see y'all later. Talk to you next time.